What's going on, everybody? It's your girl, Lolita, aka Lo, and welcome to another episode of Take Action Real Estate Investing. Boy, do we have a show for you. Real excited. I got my friend, my sister, Mr. Sandra Nesbitt. She's been a real estate investor for a while. We've known each other for a long time. We're both here in the Dallas-Fort Worth market. I interviewed you, oh goodness, I think the first time I interviewed you was like, 6 years ago? It's been a minute.
Actually, it was 2009, but who's counting?
Oh my goodness. So you know the exact year. That's what I'm talking about. So, but anyway, guys, I'm really excited to have her come and share what's working for her real estate investing business, what she's doing. Before I really get in and start talking to her and introducing her, I want to thank you guys for continuing to share your thoughts on the podcasts, the other podcasts and episodes that I've had with guests. I really appreciate your feedback, how they've been helping you, things that you've been learning. I appreciate the feedback, I really do. And continue to share with me other guests or other show topics that you want me to cover, all right? So again, I just want to thank you guys. Now, without any other further delay, I want to introduce Miss Sandra Nesbitt. Sandra, how are you?
I'm doing great, girl, and I appreciate the opportunity to be on here this morning. And so lay it on me. I'm ready for you.
I hear you. I know you are. Well, if you don't mind, just share a little bit about yourself, how long you've been in real estate and, where you're from. So just share a little bit about yourself.
All right. Briefly, I've been a real estate investor now. It'll be 18 years, April
Awesome.
7th.
Woo-hoo.
I started right out of college. I graduated college January or February of 1999, and I've been in it ever since. I've been in the Dallas market 10 of those 18 years, and we're wholesalers. We wholesale houses with an ARV between now 30 to 500,000. Our core niche is wholesaling fire damage properties.
And that's what I want you to talk about, because I know you're just like the master when it comes to fire damage, doing fire damage deals and really making those nice chunks as far as those assignment fees. But talk about fire damage and what pretty much led you to focus on this particular niche.
Well, I kind of fell into it. In Connecticut, it's an attorney state. We don't use title companies. And my closing attorney met with a family who had a loved one. He was settling their estate, so he met with them to settle in the estate of a loved one who died in a fire, who tragically died in a fire. And part of that estate was selling the house. And he said, hey, these people need to sell the house. Why don't you take a look and make them an offer? So I said, okay, never assessed a fire damage property ever. Went in, had no clue what I was doing, and I just threw out a number. It was a really bad fire. In fact, I believe it really needed to be demolished. So made an offer. They sold the estate, and we closed after I had moved here in August of 2007. And I wholesaled it to a very well-known TV guru, one of those they want to flip this house. Anyway, I net $32,000, so I was hooked. And so when I moved to the Dallas area, I started to target fire damage properties. I never did before when I was up north. Mm-hmm. And so different market as far as the money to be made and the ARV and whatnot, but I've steadily targeted fire damage properties for the last 10 years.
Yep. And obviously you're always going to, have business or find business because unfortunately fires happen and, every day, every week. And obviously when you're in larger markets, then you can potentially have larger type of, leads that you can get access to. Is that correct? And I know you have a system and a process of getting those leads. You want to share a little bit, because I know you just can't, find them. But, you can talk to the city, from my understanding, and get a list because it's public information. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Right. I'm going to talk about that, but I want to really stress the importance of why targeting distressed homeowners for great wholesale deals is important.
Sure.
With fire damage properties, they're in distress. Unfortunately, either the homeowners, family members, pets, loved ones, they may perish.
Right.
And it can be a very sensitive situation. And there's a time constraint because the city is on their back for them to do something with this house, either fix it, sell it, or something. And so they're very motivated to sell for obvious reasons.
Right.
And so for us out here, it's really simple by making an open records request and requesting fire damage properties by giving them specific dates. If you want to go back a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, but remember, with fire damage properties, there's a time constraint, so you don't want to go back too far with those requests. Other states, like I have a student in Phoenix, Arizona, the open records request is a totally different system, so he has to use another avenue to generate those leads. They charge a hefty penny to give out that information.
Oh, wow.
Whereas it's freely available here for us here in Texas.
Right. Yeah, absolutely right. So that's interesting. And yeah, it is interesting how it's different in different areas and different markets as far as getting access to that type of information. So let me ask you a question. Do you as far as marketing to them, do you send them a letter? Do you send them a postcard?
Right. So the initial contact is direct mail because the house is empty.
Right.
And so recently we've incorporated cold calling as well. And so that's just like a 1-2 punch to, really hit it aggressively. But direct mail has always worked. Yep. It's really the best way to reach them. I can't go and leave a note or a package at the door. Some homeowners do go back to the property to check mail. So for some reason they're not responding. You can leave something at the house, but my best method has always been direct mail.
Yep, absolutely. Mine too. So, like we're talking about a little bit earlier, with marketing, especially in competitive markets, there's different things that you have to test, especially if you start seeing an influx of other wholesalers or other investors that are either new and they jump in the game and things start drying up. You just have to test different marketing and different verbiage. But I know you know about that. So, and typically, how often do you follow up with them? So if you send the initial letter, do you follow up with them within a couple of weeks, maybe within 30 days? If you haven't heard from them, what's like your follow-up process?
With any marketing, you need to have several touches. So with us, we have a minimum of 4 touches. Yep. And so that includes different pieces of direct mail. Letter, postcard, you want to change it up a little bit. In the beginning, we're sending either every month or every 2 weeks, and then we might spread it out every month until we check the deed transfer date to see if they've sold the property or they tell us stop sending mail
right.
or contacting us.
Right. Well, a lot of times it's not that nice, but yeah, I got you. So that's awesome. So do you focus on any other niche or lead types, like maybe vacant properties or high equity, or do you solely focus on fire damage?
No, I would say fire damage is definitely our best money maker as far as all lead generation programs. We also target expired listings, probate, divorce, bankruptcy, and other like gunshot method marketing that's not specific, like a distress situation market. Does that make sense?
Sure. Fantastic.
But I highly suggest that you want the majority of who you targeting to be distress homeowners.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Sandra. So share with us, books that you've read or, maybe one of your favorite books.
I can tell you about a few recent books I've read or I am reading. The book, The Secret, I bought the DVD and the book in 2006, and I've been listening to it for 20 minutes every day. I made a commitment for 65 days, so I have 30 days, actually 29 days left. Good material. Also, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I read that after the new year, went through that audio book. Awesome. Went through that in 2 days, I believe. Very good read. Very good read.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites, actually. Awesome. Fantastic. And what do you do to stay motivated? As an entrepreneur, you've been doing this 18 years, so I'm assuming you got some self-motivation. But, maybe on those days that it's kind of slow or whatever, what keeps you motivated?
for me personally, and I've been really harping on this for the last couple months, the 3 keys for me, whether it's for myself or anybody that I train or coach, you got to have focus. You got to have focus. So it's so easy to get scattered in this direction, that direction, and be all over the place in this business. You got to stay focused. Even on the most menial tasks, just get through it and focus.
Absolutely.
Okay? You got to be consistent.
Yes.
Got to be consistent. I can't stress that enough, because a lot of times you want to dip your toe in the water and try it one day, then a couple months, then a couple weeks. But whatever you do, to stay consistent and start with small things. You know, whether it's educating yourself once a week for 1 hour, just do it week in and week out. With your direct mail, the same piece, the same market. Just stay consistent and, you know, stay on top of a schedule or something so you are consistent. Also, you know, you're all about action, right?
Absolutely.
Massive action. It's good to take action, but you got to take massive action at the end of the day. Okay, if you really want to see any real results, okay, just step it up a notch, tenfold.
Absolutely. No, that's great. Great. You're absolutely right. So talk about your upcoming ebook, which I'm excited that you're writing and putting together, dealing with fire damage. So talk a little bit about that and how people can, expect to get it, where they can go.
Okay. Well, first I want to mention, I have you and Connor to thank for inspiring me to write the ebook. And so, sometimes we put so much into it, like this is simple, it's basic. And so I wrote it late last year in November. And so now I'm continuing to put the final touches on it, halfway through editing it, graphics and whatnot. But the URL for the ebook, when it's complete, is going to be so the ebook shall be complete by the end of next month.
Awesome. And can you give the name again? I think you went out a little bit. What's the name of it again?
Okay. WholesalingFireDamageHouses.com.
Awesome. Fantastic. I can't wait. And I'm so excited for you. So
all
wonderful.
Right, thank you.
No problem. And again, I just want to thank you for taking the time. I know you're super busy and doing all those deals over there. So thanks for, taking the time to share on the podcast. I know a lot of people got value and will get value, from what you shared. And like I always say to everybody, guys, listen to this, listen to it again. All right. And what do you do after you listen? You take action. Thank you, Sandra.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you.
Sure.